Welcome to Compass Stories. I'm your host, Veronica Sterling. And my work is centered on helping people who are in the middle of disruption rediscover meaning, strengthen connection, and move forward with courage. I do this through speaking, sharing experiences, and storytelling. I'm grateful that you've joined me for a conversation today. And if it resonates with you, I hope that you will share it with someone else in your life. Thanks for being here. Listener, I am in Bryce Canyon National Park. This is park number 51 for our Airstream, but I'm going to tell you that this park has a much older story for Kyle and me. We've been here before, and I guess in a way, Bryce Canyon is part of our origin story. So today I thought I would tell you the prequel of how we got here. Kyle and I have always loved to travel. And even when we first got married, it was like everything that we could budget, every extra dollar, our PTO time was always going towards another trip to someplace new. His grandmother, Mabel, really encouraged that in us. She was awesome. She lived to be 99 years old. She traveled to over 65 countries herself, but she would always tell us, don't wait until you get old to start. Live the life that you want to have now. And I think at the time, I really took that as travel advice, like get out there before your knees are bad kind of thing. But looking back, I know she was really telling us how to live our life, how to spend our time. So flash forward through our marriage. In 2016, we took a trip together with some family to South Africa and Zambia. And I think on that trip, something shifted. We had these experiences there where travel stopped being seen as just something fun that we could do with our vacation time. It became purposeful. It became this way to understand people, places, history. And eventually, I think it became a way to understand ourselves. And so that shift brought us here to Utah a year later. We decided we wanted to see some of our own country. So we rented this tiny little camper van and we came here to see 5 national parks on a road trip. And every stop, all of the landscape at each place, it's just a little bit different, and it left us completely awestruck. But when we came to Bryce Canyon, that first time I walked out to the rim and looked out over the amphitheater, I saw these hoodoos and something just really took a hold of me. I just felt like we need more of this. We need more time in this purpose. We need more access to it. Kyle felt the same way. And so when we got home, we were just like, how do we make this happen? And well, long story short, the Airstream dream was born. At first, it was a fairly simple and straightforward idea. We would renovate a motorhome, take a year off work, and just go on a trip around the country. Of course, that's not how the story unfolded at all. The renovation was not as straightforward as we thought it would be. It took 3 years to get this camper ready to be on the road. And the work was so much more than we expected it to be. But somewhere inside all of the wiring, the painting, the repairing, the figuring out, the waiting, our perspective shifted again. It wasn't just coming to these places that we wanted to see. That wasn't the experience that was resonating with us anymore. It was like we didn't want to just take a sabbatical and then plug right back into the same program. We were building this Airstream, and it started to occur to us that we were putting this effort into building a new life. And I think what surprises me today is if I look back over the past 9 years, so much of our life is different. My career is different. The house we live in is different. I think I am different. I'm willing to connect with people in different ways. I'm much more prepared to build and share my dreams and my experiences without feeling embarrassed by what people might think of them. And all of this, it didn't happen all at once, right? These changes happened just little by little. And now I'm in Bryce Canyon, and I gotta tell you, I think that's the way you experience this place too. You can stand on the rim, you can look out across it and really think you've seen it because the view is so spectacular. But if you then you start walking down into it, and every steep and tight switchback changes what comes into view. These hoodoos, they just open up and reveal so much. You walk and turn amongst them, and it's like you see something right in front of you that you couldn't see just a few steps before. It's a landscape that just all keeps changing. But there it is, listener. This landscape isn't what's changed. Today, it's me. I have changed. I've spent the past several weeks out here on the road sharing thoughts about courage, the agency that we have to choose our next step, the accountability to making our dreams a reality, refusing to let them sit on a shelf labeled for someday. All of those reflections I've shared, they've felt very true to me. So true that there's been times that I've been able to add a challenge question or an idea back to you to consider. But these last couple of days here in Bryce Canyon, it is reminding me that we don't always have to be reaching for a conclusion. We don't always have to have it right away. Some journeys are simply made for wonder, for the exploration of the experience, for paying attention to what's happening around us. I think it's important to notice that perspective is changing, even if we can't fully explain how. I had a former boss who would have described this as being intellectually curious. And he said that I am intellectually curious, always trying to reflect and sort of dig into the next thing to understand it more. And so that's where I find myself again today. So I know I'm more at peace than where I used to be, and I'm certainly more open to possibility, but I still want to make space to reflect on what's the next answer. What is the shifting perspective that this experience, these 2 months on the road, are creating for me in my life? So I'm leaving Bryce Canyon today, and this journey is going to continue through the state of Utah. And it's a landscape that's familiar to me and probably really hasn't changed that much over the last decade. But I know that the lens that I'm viewing this landscape through has changed for me this time. I know that it is changing in real time while I'm out here. So listener, I'm going to keep writing and I'm going to keep paying attention. And when I understand this more, I'm going to come back to you, bring you into this conversation and let you know what I think. And as always, I'd love to know what you think. So feel free to send me a message and tell me how your perspective is shifting in your life. And until then, I'll see you at the next destination. Thank you for listening to this episode of Compass Stories. I'm your host, Veronica Sterling. And if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe to hear more and share it with others. Thank you for doing so. That's really helpful for me. To learn more about my message and connect, you can find me at www.veronicasterling.com.